Hey YouTube, this is City Prepping. In this video I wanted to give you a quick update on what I've been working on the top of my property. I did a video about a month ago talking about building a self-sufficiency area on my property, and as you can see behind me, things are coming along pretty well. As of today, I'm building my fourth garden bed. I've been getting a little behind, and so I've got the bed going at it right now. I was very fortunate. I had a subscriber have pity on me after seeing some of my previous videos, having to dig in the ground here, and they sent me, provided me a jackhammer. I was able to meet up with them and get a hold of that. So the process is going a lot faster now instead of having to do everything with a pickaxe and a shovel. Yeah, so far it's going good. I'll kind of take you through a quick walk, showing you what's growing. I'll show you the irrigation system I set up, and oh yeah, I'll show you my bees. I've done a couple of videos on my channel about the bees I've got, and I'll show you that setup. They're coming along pretty well as far as I can tell. I'm not 100% sure if the queen's still in there. I think they are, or I think she is rather. But yeah, let me take you through and show you what I've got. I'm gonna flip the camera around real quick and go from this side. So, all right, so as you can see, I'm doing this fourth bed, and here's the jackhammer. Again, that's a subscriber gave to me. I picked up a generator that can produce 3,500 watt continuous, which I need in order to run the jackhammer. I think it actually runs at about 2,200 watts continuous. So in this bed, as you can see, I've got the irrigation system going. I'll turn it on in a second so you can see how it works. I've got some strawberries. I think these are beans or peas. I forget. I should have marked these when I planted them. I've got them mapped out though on a piece of paper. I've got some peppers you can barely see for whatever reason. And I'm learning as I go here. A lot of things aren't growing in as fast as I thought. Some are. Here's a corn. And as you can see, that's coming in pretty nicely. I've got tomatoes on the other side. And again, they're so small, you can barely see them. I started off at seed. And one mistake I didn't do, or rather one mistake I made, is I did not test the pH balance of the soil before I put things in. I know tomatoes are pretty sensitive to that. They don't really just seem to be taking off. If I had to do this all over again, I probably would have bought some starters. They sell these, but some of them, are looking all right. But I just want to go through the whole process and learn from seed as opposed to starting with starters. So this side of the bed is one of the more productive sides that look pretty good. As you can see, I've got onions over there and they're coming in really nicely. I did buy a starter over here. This one, who is this? This is squash. Let me see real quick. Yeah, that one's squash. I did a starter. I got so tired of some stuff not coming in. And then there is cilantro, and that is coming in nicely. There's one other thing I planted right here. You can barely even see it. Let's see, there it is. I have no idea what that is. I'll have to go back and look, but some of it's coming in pretty nicely. Sorry, I just dropped my microphone here. The cilantro, as you can see in this spot, is looking pretty good. And this is some kind of a lettuce. Again, I'll have to go back and look at everything, how I mapped it out. I just built the irrigation system, and let me go ahead and turn this on and show you how this works. I've got solar panels hooked up here, and what I did was I hooked it all up to a 1/2 horsepower pump, and got the pump in here. This is all a temporary setup right now. I'm gonna do a lot more of an elaborate setup in the future. Right now it's all stuff I have to manually come up in here and do, but I'm going to set up a timer on this here pretty soon. Let me see if I can get you in here. Yeah, I've got the Kodiak, and let me plug this in here. I'll go ahead and fire this up. Okay. You can hear that pump running pretty well, and I got 300 watts of solar panels that keep this going. We'll come over here and take a look at this. So as you can see, that irrigates it really nicely. I'm able to put things on the spot, get things to irrigate exactly where I want them. Some of the lines aren't running right now. They all have to kind of fill up with water, but they'll do that here in just a second. I'll do a separate video here in the next few weeks showing how I set up this particular irrigation system. Let me take you over to this other bed over here. So as you can see, the lines are starting to fill up with water and everything's starting to irrigate consistently. Here, I'll show you. And again, I'll do a separate video on this here pretty soon showing how I set this all up. This one is looking pretty good, this corn stalk. So pretty excited to see these come in here in the next few weeks. Things are finally starting to warm up in our area. It's been cold for the last month or so, unusually cold. So the garden hasn't really been growing as quickly as I was hoping. Let me take you over real quick. I'll take you over and show you I'll show you my bees. The bees, like I said, they're coming in really well, or rather they seem to be growing. I opened them up last week, did an inspection, and I think I have a queen because I've seen a lot of larvae, and hopefully she'll continue to produce more. And you know, so far they've taken up about 4 frames. I'll do a video here shortly showing what I've done in the last inspection. You can see the progress on those. So let me walk you over here real quick. Try not to step on any rattlesnakes or anything. We've got a lot in this area, so I'm always having to constantly watch for them. But this path right here, keep it clean. I don't know if the coyotes use this at night. This used to be the area they would come in. But let me see here. I set these bees up probably about 5 weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago. And in as much as I can tell, you know, again, they're doing pretty well. So you can get pretty close to them. I'm kind of surprised how close they'll let you get. As long as you don't stand in their flight path, they typically don't care. Let me bring you down here to show you these guys. They're fascinating little creatures. And I don't know how well you can see this in the video, but you can see a lot of them carrying pollen in on their legs. And my experience so far is if you don't get too close, they don't seem to mind. But I'll post a video up here in a few days showing this last inspection I've done. I'll post in the cards up above the last 2 inspection videos that I've done. Again, it's really fascinating opening these guys up and taking a look. So far they've been pretty docile, the weather's nice, and there's a good nectar flow in the area, so they're not upset by anything. Oh, one just flew into my head. So I'll walk you through, or rather I'll walk you back. By the way, I'm sure everybody loves these overalls. I think the Urban Prepper's last email to me was that if you're not wearing overalls when you're doing gardening, you're not doing gardening. So I think that was his exact quote. I'll have to go back and review that. So, wink. But yeah, let me take you back real quick over here. And like I said, I'm having a lot of fun with this area. It's therapeutic getting up here and doing gardening. And the number one thing I'm learning, in a lot of preppers, often I think the biggest mistake they make is there's an assumption that if there was a disaster, if there was a prolonged grid down situation, they had to start gardening, that they'll magically plant seeds and everything will just pop up. One thing I'm realizing very quickly is that's just not the case. It'll probably take a couple of years before I really get any consistent garden up here that is going to be very productive. But all this is part of the learning process. If I don't do this now, I'll never know how to deal with the situation when it comes. If there's an emergency and I really need this to sustain myself and my family. So anyway, on that note, I'd love to hear your comments, what you think of the area, if there's things you want to see. Like I said, in the next few weeks, I'll be doing videos on the raised bed gardens, how to set those up, the irrigation system, the soil. I'll be doing a lot more videos as things are starting to produce. So again, would love to hear your feedback. If you have anything that you would say, hey, here's some tips based on what I'm seeing, please provide those in the comments, because I am clueless. I'm just learning as I'm going. I'm studying as much as I can, but got to figure out a lot as I go here. So again, thanks for taking the time to watch the video. If you enjoyed the video, click on the like button, and as always, be safe out there. So you love strawberries, huh, Evelyn? Which one's your favorite? All of them? Yeah, you want some strawberries, huh? We have to wait for these to turn just a little more ripe. It's a little green right now. I don't think you'll like it like that. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little green right now. I don't know if you'll like that one. Did you eat the strawberry? You just pulled it off? Okay. I'm gonna have to watch you run my strawberries. You're gonna eat them all, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah?